everybody, it's your mad mother of the internet here with the first look at V Rising. For those of you that aren't familiar with the term, hubby and I spent 2 days playing the game with a friend, and then we spent a good portion of another day playing it with just him and me to get our impressions of the game as to whether we like the game, whether we don't like the game, whether we could take it or leave it, and so on and so forth. Things that we think could be improved. I also joined the Discord, and I was also reading some of the Reddit threads. So, without further ado, let me show you what the game looks like, and also get into the pros and cons, or at least in my opinion, the pros and cons. Nothing in this video about the game that I'm saying is fact unless I demonstrate it to you and show you in the video of how the stuff works. All my opinions are my own. I don't speak for an entire group. Never have, never will. So, let's get on with it. First impressions of the game is you have a lot of different options here. You can either continue to play a game, or you can do a private game, online play, or you can host a dedicated server. Yes, the you're hearing is the side effects every time I mouse over. Now going back. In the continue portion, this may be a little nitpicky for cons, but I don't like the fact that you cannot delete previous games because these are goofs down here and I can't delete them or get rid of them. You can title your server whatever you want while you're setting up your private or public server, so that's a plus. There are some games that don't do that that in my opinion I believe should. But still, to me, the ability to delete previous games that you're not going to play anymore would be another point in the pro column for V Rising itself. But you can't. So when you set up a private game, you have your basic stuff here. If you're going to do only solo play for your private game, all you have to do is click that there. Once you set these, another con in my opinion is you can't go back in the continue section and change the settings. In other words, if you start this for solo play, you're pretty much stuck in my understanding in this particular PvE part as a solo game. You can't invite other people, you can't change the number of people, nothing. It's just you. The LAN server option is pretty good if you want to set up a local server, invite friends over and play. That's cool, I like that. You can choose PvE or PvP. I always choose PvE. I don't like PvP. I've had really bad experiences with PvP. There's a rule set for PvP. There's standard rules, easy, hard, and then you have levels over here. I usually do PvE, regular PvE rules. I like doing stuff on normal because easy a lot of times is too easy, and hard when you're first starting out, to me, makes the game a lot harder than it should be when you're just trying to learn it. Again, that's just my opinion. So we're going to load those in. And then the advanced game settings let you change everything from global chat to world settings, items, your castle heart territory and stuff. I mean, you guys can see that. Crafting and building changes. You can even change your time, how long your days last in the game, how long your day length is, and so forth. So there is a lot of game customization. So how about player customization? I would talk about here how long it takes for the game to load, but there are a lot of games out there that when you go to host your own server, it takes a long time to start up. So to me, that issue's neither here nor there. Vampire customization. In this game, in case you don't know what V Rising is, it is a vampire type survival game. You have been basically sleeping for centuries because people have driven you to your coffin and in hiding. So you are back into the world trying to assert your dominance. And here is where you get to choose what your character looks like. As far as body types are concerned, you can only choose male or female. You can't choose height, weight, girth, any individual facial features or body features. That customization isn't in the game. Um, As far as general looks on a character is concerned, I don't think it looks too terribly bad. At least the female. The guy kind of looks like he skipped leg day a little bit. You can see some musculature here, but it looks like he just goes zoop, and then the legs are there. That's just me. You can customize skin tone, so you can make her as light or as dark as you want. You can even make her fantasy colored, things of that nature. So I usually like doing this for giving her a tan because being who I am, I usually do get tanned. I do like it reflecting me. I like green eyes because they're spookier. You can change the face, any kind of, yeah. Some of these things are jokerish, and some of these things are akin to the old Nosferatu movie. So do that with as you will. Hairstyles. All sorts of hairstyles, including the infamous Karen cut. All in the game. I don't like using the Karen cut, so I don't use the Karen cut. I usually something akin to this. You can change your hair color. I'm going to do that right now. And then your facial features here, I'll show you. You're female, but your facial features here is just beards and mustaches. I think it's kind of funny on a female. But if you want to be a female bearded vampire, hey, why not? You have earrings here, like this. I'm going to put those in there. And then we'll leave Fiona. Why not? She may not be an ogre in this one, but everybody has their day in the sun, or in this case, their day in the moon. Moving your mouse around moves your character around thusly. Clicking your left click is your attacks. Clicking your middle button doesn't really do anything unless you want to split stacks. Your right click button moves your camera. In case you're wondering, no, there is no way to lock the camera behind you. I don't particularly like that feature, but it is what it is. Some people were talking about, well, you could probably play this game a lot better with a controller. The devs have yet to update the game so that you can use a controller in the game, which again I think is a con because it would be perfect for a game like this to be able to use a controller, but you can't. Fluid. The motions are absolutely fluid. Shift key is jump when you reach a certain cliff. You can interact with everything in the game, as you can see. Everything gives you prompts on what you need to do as far as breaking things open and picking things. As far as breaking things open, no. Picking things up, yes, it's always F to pick things up. Let's see here. We're going to do this a little like that. Okay. It's always F lets you pick things up, open containers, open doors, things of that nature like that. Now we're going to go to another server so I can show you other things about this game. Alright, this is an established base that hubby and I have. As you can see, you have these. There's your sun is rising. Morning! But it's not doing us any harm because of these braziers over here, which is a rather unique and very imaginative way to keep your vampire moving in the daytime. As you can see, we have palisade walls up, which is a really good advantage. Now, the only disadvantage I see, as you can see, is you cannot put any roofs on palisade walls in order to close in your beginning castle, so to speak. You're kind of stuck with an open roof, which is why you need the mist braziers. You automatically get a roof when you upgrade to stone. I don't know how I feel about that. Everything is locked behind quests. Your progression, how to interact with the game, how to craft certain things, are all locked behind quests and a very unique bounty system and skill acquisition system, all located in the Blood Altar. In the Blood Altar, you have bosses that you have to defeat in order to get V-Blood. V-Blood is the blood that you acquire in order for you to get new skills and train your vampire in new skills, so to speak. Each of these bosses have skills, crafting that you can unlock, crafting stations that you can unlock, and new abilities that you can acquire, whether it be spells or in the case of the Alpha Wolf that I've already vanquished in this game, is the ability to turn into a wolf for faster travel. In order to figure out where these guys are, all you have to do is click track blood, and you can follow your sniffer right to your next boss. You can also skip the bosses up until it tells you that your gear level is too low. Your level is not dependent on experience, which can be a good or a bad thing. I haven't decided which one that is yet. However, I kind of like the level progression system being reliant on your gear level, which means the better your gear, the harder you hit, the better you are, yada yada, so on and so forth. But there's no experience gain in this game. So that kind of RP element is out of the question. So let me close this so you can see what the tracking looks like. See? Alright, now we're going to open the blood altar again, and we're going to click Rufus, or currently track, stop tracking. So we can get out of here and show you the other things. A particular con in this game that I don't like is, you can see this is my husband Ronan. He is logged out of the game, but his body is still there, which means logging out of the game doesn't make you safe from the environment if other people stay in. The whole point of this game, I believe, is for you to lay in your coffin when you're not logged in for ultimate safety behind your walls. So you can't just log out in the middle of nowhere and hope you're going to be okay, because if your body's found, you will die. And if there's nobody there to revive you, because there is a vampire to vampire revival system in this game, you're going to have to kill yourself and respawn in your base, in your coffin, and go from there. I don't particularly like this system. To me, if you log out, you should be gone. So that's a con for me. A pro, as you can see here, is this is a chest. Now, for those of us that play Valheim, 7 Days to Die, and other things that you have to sort stuff into, until you can get writable crates or you can have the ability to make signs, you're stuck with putting storage next to certain crafting areas to somewhat remind you of what is supposed to go in what box. This game automatically gives you writable storage. I love that. I absolutely love that about this game, because I like being organized and being able to find shit when I need it. Who doesn't, right? Right. So that's a pro. Now, when you start the game in your level progression, let me come over here to the crafting tab. You can you can craft all of these things here. That's an expansion. You can craft bone swords, bone maces, bone rings, this bone guard armor and stuff. That's part of the beginning progression. And the vermin salve. If you have the expansion kit, you can also get the Immortal King's Great Helm, that obviously I can't make yet because I don't have the materials. The little up arrow here is the game's way of telling you that you can upgrade your gear, which has to be done often. So don't forget that. If you forget to upgrade your gear, you're not going to hit the other bosses as hard, or anything your level as hard as you should be. So upgrading in this game is key. It always keeps you on your toes, which I particularly like. There are a lot of crafting stations in this game. You've got your furnace. There's a whole lot more than we have here because we just started playing this game. This Miss Brazier over here, as you can see, contains bones that you pick up along the way. It burns the bones in order to make the fog that you see inside these walls. The building system has different menus, as you can see. You can have fundamentals, production, castle, exterior, and lighting. Each of them has their different things that you can put in different places. I kind of like the way that it's parsed out. I kind of like the way that all you have to do is mouse over it, as you can see on the screen, and it tells you what you need to buy certain things. Here we go, the moon is rising. These 3 squares over here in this game are the only 3 squares I haven't been able to fill in yet, because if I do this and go over to fundamentals, you can see I don't have any stone in order to do that with. I can go get some, but this isn't what the game is about. So that's pretty much the basic stuff. Let me close this out. You do start with basic spells and basic attacks. That's your axe. That's your sword. There's your boop. You do get your crossbow. Crossbows are drops, and you also get the ability to actually make your own crossbow when you defeat a boss. And that comes with a woodworking station. The bone mace that you see now is not only absolutely huge, and you swing it in a wide arc like this, the bone mace is your way of mining in the game, so don't forget that. And then you have a spear. Keep people at bay. I don't think it's that bad of a thing, but I'm not a spear person. But each weapon has its own, ups and downs, pros and cons. Now, in order to dash in this game, you have to be looking in the direction that you want to dash. In other words, make sure your little cursor over here is aimed in the direction you want to go, and hit space. Aiming in this game spell-wise, that's your R, otherwise known as your shadow bolt, and then C takes a little bit to charge up. You can come over here. Each of these gives you your abilities, which I like. Everything's under a tab, and all of these, to change these, is just drag and drop, which I find very convenient and very much a pro. Because there's a lot of other games out there that has all these abilities that are a little more involved. It's a little bit harder to switch stuff out. Takes a little too long in my opinion. But there you have it. These are all of your powers here, and these are all of your emotes over here. Yes, you have emotes in the game in case you want to RP. It's action wheels. Let me show you a couple of those. In order to turn yourself into a wolf, you alt and mouse over, but you have to stay still until it's done. I'm lagging a little bit this morning, as you can see here. And then you got blood mending and then expose vein in order to help another vampire out in case they need blood direly, and you have some to spare. Now, left. Let me see. We'll do this, and here's your emotes. This is your alt key right here. These are all your emotes for you to have a little bit of fun. See, I'm bowing now, so that's not too bad. You got a preliminary thing here. I am going to be uploading some gameplay over the coming weeks, so you're going to be able to see what the gameplay looks like. Oh, you're going to be able to see how some of it acts now. I like my axes, provided I don't lag. The feeding animation I like. Come here. Feed. There you go. Here's your feeding animation. Now, this leads to another mechanic that I like that I would consider a boon. This is your blood type changing. Your blood type changes depending on who you suck the blood from, and the percentage is the purity or the potency of the blood. Each blood has a different set of stats, as you can see, and it gives you a different temporary skill set until you feed on somebody else. The purer the blood, I can't English, the tongue is getting in the way. The more potent your blood, the brighter red this orb is in the middle right here. You can also hit this button here, but all these tell you, numbers and letter keys and stuff, which I find very easy because that's how most games work. You have this menu over here, which is just in case you don't want to hit different things. Then you have your map. It gives you a lot of places that you can go and venture out. A lot of these times you do get caught out in the daytime. Head for that shade. Head for the shade. Once you discover an area, it is forever highlighted on your map, and you can mouse over it to tell you where you need to go if you want to go back there and farm some things, which I find as a pro in this game. The map is really easy to follow. It's also in the top right-hand corner. And as you can see, this game is absolutely beautiful. I love this game. I love the animations. They're smooth. As opening and closing the doors, here's a little courtyard up here, and here's a moose. Everything, in my opinion, right now is smooth, except for a little bit of rubber banding. I don't know if that's my internet connection or them tweaking things in the background. But, every new game is going to have its ups and downs. And they do They do say that they have connection issues when they do some things, and it all shows up over here. So they do give you messages. The devs do keep in touch with you, and you do know what's going on through Steam and through their Discord that anybody can join. Also, their Reddit threads. If I had to describe the game to another gamer who hasn't picked this up yet, I would say it's a combination of Valheim and Torchlight. They took elements from both of them and smashed this together, and we've got V Rising. I like the idea that I'm a vampire because sometimes I like being a creature of the night. The character customization could be a little bit better, but we are still in early development, so that may be improved as things go on. I like the fact that the story is a little bit it's established. The story is very well established at this point. The bosses and the progression is really good. I like the way that things are locked behind bosses and the quests, so you have to follow the quests to be able to make more things in order to vanquish more bosses so you can get more skills. I like the fact that some of the bosses, combat mechanics change depending on the number of people battling the boss. I learned that over the past couple of days. I have been talking to people in the Discord. The devs have not done the whole controller thing yet. They don't know. There hasn't been an announcement as to whether or not they're working on it. If there has, I missed it. There has been a hot fix recently. Prior, you could not teleport with wood, stone, or plant fiber. You can now. So that's another pro. There's another game out there that I play that you can't, you know, teleport with certain items. I find that as a mechanic in the game a con no matter what game it is because you set up teleportation or you have existing teleportation in a game so you can get to and from things faster. And I don't like the fact that, the gate locks if you have certain things on your person. But that's just my personal opinion. Do I like V Rising as a whole? First impressions, yes. I will keep playing it. I will probably put some videos up on my channel so you can see my progression. I may even live stream it from time to time, so who knows? So keep watching and stay tuned for that. I will be trying, like I said, over the next few weeks to be doing regular uploads again, so be on the lookout for that. And as always, my little misfits, as I always love to say, behave, but if you can't behave, at least be good at it. And I'll see you guys next time.